Hello, this is a project review for the Junior League of Huntsville's Spring 2019 fundraiser, the Book Ball. Each year, the Junior League hosts a new spring fundraiser with a different division of the league sponsoring. As such, no two fundraisers are the same. It was decided this year that we would do a fundraiser in tandem with Alabama's bicentennial celebration, and we created the Book Ball to complement that celebration. This project began in June at the announcement of the new fundraiser and the picking of the chair and co-chairs soon after. The chairs and co-chairs are hand-picked by the board, but the committee members are assigned by having picked spring fundraiser as their placement of choice the year prior. We have had many hiccups since the start of the Book Ball, with our public relations and outreach co-chair resigning at the beginning of the fall and our chair resigning just a few weeks ago. Despite this and some heavy learning curves, we have a strong group of about 200 women in our league and find support and advice from many different groups within our organization. Another hiccup we ran into was with the venue. The board requires a minimum of 3 bids before going to monthly council, and the approval for our first venue selection just missed the August council meeting. By the time we received approval from the September board meeting, our first venue was booked, and we had to wait another month before we were able to go back to the board with our second choice for approval. This put us behind in some areas by over a month. We could not finalize the caterer without the venue because some venues had preferred vendors or assigned caterers. Though the approved budget you see here is flexible to a degree, we could not book the band without knowing our venue or catering costs. We may add additional amenities as well, contingent upon budget. The catering costs will depend on how many tickets and what type of tickets are sold, so while we hope to also book a photographer for the event, this may not be in the budget if catering costs are too high. This is a condensed roll-up of the schedule for easier viewing, but it is expanded in the final report document. You'll notice many of the task start dates begin after committee meetings and are scheduled to be accomplished before a particular month's board meeting to be slated for voting. We expect the timelines for items 15 through 23 to expand further and the timelines to become more rigid as we move along. The dates have changed fairly often, but for the most part, we do not see that we are at critical mass with anything just yet. Many elements are still left to evaluate, such as day of event schedule and volunteer schedule, what will be included at the dinner for our VIP sponsors, and how they will be recognized. We will not have these narrowed down until 1 to 2 months prior to the event after we start getting some tickets sold and sponsors booked. Many of the dates will continue to change, but at this time, for example, the band and caterer we want to have booked no later than January 5th, minimum of 2 months before the event. Here are some areas for improvement we have found. For this fundraiser to be successful, the chair and board need to provide stronger communication and be more transparent. To properly track success and progress, it is critical that the chair and board are transparent with the co-chairs and committee. There needs to be a more structured process for the fundraisers and more formality, which would also be easier if there was consistency in the spring fundraiser event. Another improvement is shortening the currently lengthy approval process. For time-sensitive cases, special voting meetings should be held. Finally, there needs to be better training for chairs and co-chairs that outline general expectations for how to lead, report, and delegate on the committee. Overall, we believe the fundraiser is on track and we hope for it to be a great success. Some things we have learned through this process are that there are many resources outside of our committee we can utilize. It's okay to delegate outside of the committee because there may be members in the organization that have helpful connections, such as with venues or sponsors. It's also critical to keep a rigid timeline, filling in the dates and gaps as we go along. Even if it's constantly changing, a timeline keeps everyone in the loop of where you are with the project. We realized our timeline in almost all aspects of our event needed to be flexible. We need to understand that there can be a cancellation or conflict with venue or vendor at any time, and it's important to have a contingency plan. We've also found that it's important to promote as early as possible. The earlier you can start creating a buzz about the event in your community, the more people will know about it and the more tickets will be sold. This concludes the final report review for the Book Ball for the Junior League of Huntsville Spring 2019 fundraiser. Thank you.